to The Insider, the ongoing video series that keeps you up to date on everything Independence Pro Wrestling. I am the voice of IPW, J-Rod. The largest match of the year, the Rumble, took place on January 19th in Ann Arbor, Michigan. 30 men competed for the chance to challenge Michiana champion Anderson Knight in the main event. One by one, men were tossed over the rope and eliminated from the match until we reached our final four. Dior Nolans, TJK, Elijah Eros, and Big Jorge. Four quickly turned into three when Dior knocked TJK the hell out with a Superman punch. Then pitched Eros over the top rope, but Eros held on and was able to keep his feet from touching the floor. As soon as Dior turned around, Big Jorge picked him up and eliminated the final Black Excellence member. But just when Jorge eliminated Dior, Chris Moore came out of nowhere and pulled Jorge over the top rope and eliminated him. This meant Elijah Eros won the damn Rumble match by default. Josh Raymond once told us, they don't ask how do you win, they only ask, did you win? And with that, Elijah Eros is our 2025 Rumble winner and would get an opportunity to challenge for the Michiana Championship against Anderson Knight in our main event. Way back in Excellence on November 17th, Nate Cobain spiked LaDon Sanders on his head and would have won the Cyber Championship if the referee hadn't been distracted. Cobain took exception to Sanders floating after the match and found a way to join the opposing Warfare team. On November 23rd, Nate Cobain would solidify his spot as Cyber Champion #1 contender when he pinned Sanders and eliminated him from the Warfare match. Cobain would have gotten his rematch right away, but Black Excellence members attacked Cobain after Warfare and he suffered a concussion, putting him out of action until Rumble. And finally, our first big grudge match of 2025 was underway. This match was an early candidate for Match of the Year. These two went to war. To LaDon Sanders' credit, he did it all on his own, beating Nate Cobain and proving he deserves to be IPW Cyber Champion. During the Rumble match, a masked wrestler by the name of Cerveza came to the ring and went straight after Sanders, eliminating him, then pulled his mask off to reveal that he was actually Marco Modelo, LaDon's former tag team partner in disguise. After eliminating LaDon, Modelo chased him to the floor and continued the attack. Modelo was caught outside the building and was asked why he did what he did. Modelo stated he believes Sanders is brainwashed by Black Excellence and is here to fight back. Former women's champions Mackenzie Black and fan favorite Lil Missy, the Honey Badger, along with #1 contender Storm Garcon, challenged the IPW women's champion Stella Buho in a four-way match. The women's title has been bounced around quite a bit lately, but it looks like that time of uncertainty is over, as Stella Buho found a way to retain. Some say Storm Garcon isn't getting a fair shake. She became the #1 contender way back in November and still hasn't gotten her one-on-one shot. Perhaps she's in need of a manager.
You know you had that match won, right? You had somebody in your corner like your boy here. He might be the champ right now.
Josh, I really don't have the energy for you right now. Like, I appreciate it, but thanks.
24 hours prior to Rumble, we witnessed one of the most heartbreaking betrayals in IPW history. TDG promised to have TVA's back in tag team action against Black Excellence, but instead joined Black Excellence and helped them beat the shit out of Terry. If there's one thing that rubs Remnar Gutlock the wrong way, it's when someone betrays their friend. After watching what TDG did, Gutlock asked for a one-on-one with TDG, a total 180. TDG had a new entrance theme, new black gear, and a new attitude. Remnar had his moments, but ultimately, the former Michiana champion picked up the win. Speaking of the Youpers, Jay Lee didn't ask for a match with Julius Iscarius. He asked for a fight, and that's exactly what we got. For the first time in IPW history, Jay Lee and Julius Iscarius would go at it in a backstage brawl. This match only has one rule: fight until the referee says stop. Although Jay Lee did the UP proud, the fight would eventually be won by Julius Iscarius. Is this thing between Iscarius and the Youpers over now? Or is the leader of the Hexus Collective looking to collect the IPW tag team titles? The 2024 Tag Team of the Year, Max Morrison and Mondo Real, had been going at it every time they see each other. Before they even made it out to ringside, they were already on the verge of tearing each other apart. Max and Mondo would be going up against the Midwest Misfits, who pulled off one of the biggest tag team upsets in IPW history just 24 hours prior, when they became only the third team to ever get a win over Real Hype, but then blew their #1 contender spot by cashing it in only an hour later in a match that ended in a no contest. To no one's surprise, Max and Mondo were unable to keep it together, and the Midwest Misfits capitalized to get another big win. Who was having a better start to 2025 than the Misfits? In a single weekend, they took out one of the greatest tag teams in IPW history and last year's Tag Team of the Year. While they may no longer be the official #1 contenders, they are definitely the unofficial #1 contenders to the IPW Tag Team Championships. Just before a full-on fistfight started between Max and Mondo, Jimmy Shawlin came up to try to talk some sense into them. It looked like it was working until Durag crashed the party. Durag has been pestering Hype for about 6 months now with no real explanation other than Jimmy hasn't checked in. Whatever the fuck that means. Jimmy finally had enough of it and told Durag that if he wanted to fight, bring it on. Jimmy Shawlin was finally able to put this thing to bed as he chokeslammed Durag for the win. There would be no after party though. Jimmy would have to do everything in his power just to keep his best friends from killing each other. Big Jorge was told that all he had to do to get a rematch with Jamal King is to have a match against Chris Moore. In the off chance that Jorge could beat Chris Moore, that rematch would be a ladder match. King told the other members of Black Excellence that it was their mission to make sure Jorge didn't even make it to the match with Chris Moore, and they tried to make good on that in the Rumble match. Obviously, they failed, so now it was up to them to ensure that Jorge didn't beat Moore. This was a slugfest between two bruisers, and despite the size and power advantage of Moore, Jorge absolutely would not be denied. Jorge finally got the upper hand on Chris Moore, and it looked like he was about to put Moore away. Sure enough, TDG came running down to the ring to interfere, but TDG was cut off by TVA, who beat TDG's ass all the way around Holmes campus and out the front door, leaving an opening for Big Jorge to hit the Barrio Bomb and pull off the biggest upset so far in 2025. Big Jorge will get another opportunity, this time in a ladder match against Jamal King for the IPW Championship on Sunday, February 2nd in Grand Rapids at the aptly named High Stakes. With Black Excellence failing Jamal King not once, but twice in one night, there will likely be hell to pay come Sunday. And with Big Jorge handing Black Excellence their first official loss, he enters this ladder match oozing with confidence and a full head of steam. It was finally time for our Rumble winner to get his shot at Michiana Gold. Elijah Eros versus the reigning Michiana champion, Anderson Knight. These two have met before, twice. Knight was victorious both times, and in the second match, it was a bit of a blowout. Eros brought his A-game to this one, though. These guys went at it in a thriller of a main event that was back and forth the entire time until Anderson hit the Nightfall for his first successful title defense of the new year. During his victory lap, though, Anderson Knight was viciously attacked by Dior Nolans, who posed with Knight's title as if that cheap shot made him the new champion. Per Knight's request, another feature match at High Stakes has been made official. The Gift, Dior Nolans versus the Scottish juggernaut Anderson Knight for the IPW Michiana Championship. After the event concluded and everyone left the building, TDG finally found his way back to Holmes campus.
Anybody in line after you see Ladon, you see Dior, is anybody here? Anybody still here? Not here, but yeah. Oh, you want me to do it, huh? Yeah, now! We don't have a lot of time to take anything about
Fight down, bro. They told me that they called Jamal, but you the reason why Chris didn't win.
That concludes this edition of The Insider. Join us on Sunday, February 2nd at Bowling Warehouse in Grand Rapids, Michigan as IPW presents High Stakes.